Did you know that the first ever oranges to arrive in Wales came in here? Through the harbour, up the old Tudor Street. Oranges from Spain. I keep it quiet nowadays. I was like one of those oranges. Packed on a boat, sent somewhere else, and then, after a lifetime, I washed up here. Worked hard, became mayor. I wonder if they knew, the people around here. Wonder if they voted for me, if they knew. Look at these headlines. These newspapers. Vermin. Traitors. Cockroaches. Monsters. You was no better in my day. The newspaper said all the same things. They talked of us as if we were a contagion. As if we were spies. I was one of the last to board the Havana. My mother didn't want to let me go. I bothered her for weeks. All my friends at school, this was the only topic of their conversation. All the children who are leaving form their own cool gang on the schoolyard. Oh, I wanted desperately to be in that gang. Every day I went home and begged Mama to let me go. Do you think this is some big adventure they are going on, Santiago? No. They will be lucky to make it. Most likely the dictator will sink the ship before it leaves the port. I just cried and kept up my campaign. In the end, no one actually won the arguments because my mother's hand was forced by events. It was when the men started to disappear. But one day, Mama came back from the bakery. The queue was awash with rumours that the boys would be next. Mama changed her mind. Now it was her mission to get me on the boat. She said I couldn't take anything. Oh, I was sad. And this sad feeling grew, and suddenly I didn't want to go. I remember the morning I left. Streets were deserted. Only the crack of sniper fire made us aware that other human beings existed at all. My mother walked on, and me, hidden inside her coat. She walked with her head down and a white handkerchief waving in front of her like a tall ship sail. My mama told lie after lie at the checkpoints, said I was very ill and needed medicine. Or I'd never heard Mama tell a lie before. I just kept silent as a mouse, terrified, but wanting to be a brave boy at the same time. You see, there were the firing squads. It was then that I grew up and thought this world was crazy. A line of men stood in front of one man, shooting him dead, just like that. Seeing him fall like a peach from a tree. She waved as I climbed the gangplank. Oh, I'd never seen or heard so many children before. The boat was too full. As I got aboard, I was pushed into the groundswell of the crowd and I lost sight of Mama. I fought my way through, pushed under people's legs, pushing people out of the way, and I got to the handrail just in time to catch sight of my mother on the quay, waving her scarf madly. She saw my eyes And I cried and I cried, till a bigger boy came behind me and clipped me round the ear and said for me to be brave. I was upsetting the younger ones. You got to show courage. This is the Basque way. As the ship pulled further from the shore, we heard the aircraft. We saw the bombs falling like black eggs, blowing up the city. The bull had risen and was trampling everything we ever knew into dirt. Horses gored, buildings blown up, everything we ever knew destroyed. The flames consuming everything in their path. I saw our world fragment. The streets, the parks, the schools, our homes, our parents, our past, all began to disintegrate. Black smoke and the sunset made for a strange horizon. None of us knew if our parents were alive or dead. The sky turned red, as if it was bleeding. Everything I had ever known was destroyed before my very eyes. Franco had waited until the last moment before he devoured his own horse. This wasn't a big adventure. Franco? Guernica? Some boys from another lifeboat started to sing an old folk song. And suddenly we were allowed to be just children. Cry. We said our prayers and eventually fell asleep. We awoke up to the new country, a clear horizon. This wasn't some terrible dream, this was true. There were days in that first camp that were full of joy. We were on our best behavior, visited by lords and ladies. But after a few freezing cold weeks, we were taken to another camp in Wales. Whoa! I thought I'd arrived at the ends of the earth. Oh, we slept on rough sacks in wooden barracks. We were wild, not enough to eat. No one had thought that us children from a war zone would need a school, would need order. Some newspapers said we'd be trouble, but others said we'd do all right. With our blonde hair, blue eyes, freckly skin, that we'd fit in. When we got here, they sent reporters to write stories about us. They called us the Bad Basque Boys. Oh, which when we found out, we did our best to live up to. But it got to a head one night, when the bigger boys took it too far and ran through the town, smashing windows. Oh, we were sure we'd be sent back home on a big ship to be killed by the black eggs. The newspapers and the politicians said we were a menace to the British public. They warned against us having diphtheria and typhoid. They didn't want us here in the first place. No. That ship had been paid for by the churches and the trade unions. The government only agreed we come here if there was no expense to the public purse. And it was then that a miracle started to happen. The local people started to see us as children for the first time, bringing us food and sweets, sharing what they could. They helped us organize concerts to raise money. instead of believing everything they said in the newspapers. The local peoples all organised. Miners raised money to pay for school teachers. And gradually this place became home. See those headlines? Vermin, cockroaches. They talk about these kids like they're not children, but a threat. A child is not a threat, surely. A child is not a traitor, a spy. These children will grow up, and those lucky enough to make it here will want to grow into an old man like me. They'll want a life like I've had, to arrive, to be safe, to fit in, to work, to raise a family. The tide is turning over more and more children to the shore. And people would like to help. But the Westminster government, the local councils, can't help. And local councils say they want to help. Meanwhile, there are a few thousand children on the border and nobody's helping. 1 million people have said that they'd open up their homes. The government just ignores them. What will become of these stranded children? What sort of adults will they become?